Please don't put us live yet. It is 4:30 p.m. on Tuesday, June 18th, 2024. At this time, we'll call the City Council meeting of the City of New Ulm to order. Item number 1 tonight is the consent agenda. Councilors, what are your wishes?
I'll offer a motion to approve those.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion?
Madam Chair, I do have one question. I was looking at,
Sure.
as we all do, look at the performance indicators.
Yes.
And our sales tax collections for the first 3 months, so for the first quarter of this year, which is all we have the data for, do show a reduction each month, 30,000, 10,000, 20,000. Is there any reason we need to be worried at all, Nicole?
No, last year was a record year. So compared to last year, it's hard.
Okay.
I wouldn't look at that. Overall, those funds are used to pay back the debt that we issued in order to pay for the rec center and those other projects. We need to collect just over 1 million every year in order to make the debt payments. Last year, we collected over 1.6 million.
Okay.
So there's a lot of wiggle room there before we wouldn't make the debt payments. And
You're not
there's-
concerned at all at
I'm
this
not
point?
worried
Okay.
about it. And I would assume it will probably stay about where it's at, maybe not come up to what it was
And everything
last
else
year.
looked fairly good. Our lodging tax collect down 1 month, but up in another, and
I'm sure it's just a market reflection of
Okay.
of how
All right.
people are spending, but.
that's all I have. Thank you.
Am I looking for a motion still, or is this?
Nope, we-
Okay, calling for the vote. All right, those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2.1, temporary on-sale liquor permit for Seifert Bianchi American Legion, post number 132.
Make a motion to approve an issuance of a temporary on-sale liquor permit for the Seifert Bianchi American Legion Post 132 to sell alcohol at Riverside Park on Wednesday, July 17th, 2024, from 3 to 8 p.m. for a Music in the Park event, subject to compliance with all city and state requirements.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2.2, American Legion liquor license extension for Carl Rollins.
I'll offer the resolution to authorize the extension of the American Legion's liquor license into Minnesota Street between 3rd North Street and 1st South Streets during the Carl Rollins on Friday, July 12th, 2024, Friday, August 16th, 2024, beginning at 4:30 p.m. until 9 p.m., subject to conditions.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion?
This event, I just want to say, I went, I know I saw Larry down there. Awesome event. Absolutely well attended by community members. It was amazing to see people pushing kids in strollers, walking down the street, looking at some amazing cars, and just seeing people active in the town. It was nice to see, and nice to see these businesses following suit.
Thank
That's
you.
all.
Director Jorgensen, please call the roll.
Counselor Mack?
Yes.
Counselor Christian?
Yes.
Counselor Schultz?
Yes.
Counselor Warmka?
Yes.
President Betker?
Yes, motion carries. Item number 2.4 is approval of a tree service license.
Motion to approve the issuance of the following tobacco license and tree service license renewals for the period beginning July 1, 2024, ending June 30th, 2025, subject to compliance with all city and state requirements, and that is for tobacco, Walgreens, 608 North Broadway, and a tree service, Keck Tree Service.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 2.4, tree service license.
I'll make a motion to approve an issuance of a tree service license for Halverson Tree Service LLC, owned by Cole Halverson, 11524 County Road 20, Hanscom, Minnesota, for the period beginning June 19th, 2024, ending June 30th, 2025, subject to compliance with all city and state requirements.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion does carry. Item number 2.5, off-site raffles gambling permit for New Ulm Youth Wrestling.
I'll offer a resolution approving the issuance of a lawful gambling permit for New Ulm Youth Wrestling to conduct off-site raffles gambling at the New Ulm Country Club, 1 Golf Drive on Monday, July 15th, 2024.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Director Jorgensen, please call the roll.
Counselor Mack?
Yes.
Counselor Christian?
Yes.
Counselor Schultz?
Yes.
Counselor Warmka?
Yes.
President Becker?
Yes, motion carries. Item number 3.1, summary of business conducted during board and commission meetings.
I missed EDA, so I'll let one of you folks cover that one. But we did have a new CAT board meeting. We meet quarterly. Some interesting things talking about some of the program updates. We also sent both the top two folks of that department to Las Vegas for a National Association of Broadcasters conference. They hadn't been to it in a few years, and it's always just so much good information that they come back. And what was all the talk about? AI. And how that's going to change their world so much in the next 5 years. So it was really good. They did a nice job of splitting up and trying to cover as many of those meetings as they could. And the other reason we met was also they needed some additional hard drives to expand the long-term video storage. So we approved that. And our last discussion had to do really with the county board and how we're videotaping them. If you've ever seen them, the volume is really good, but we only have one camera in that room, so we're only taping from the back. So whenever there's anybody speaking to the county board, you really don't see who it is. You might see their head nod or something, but you don't really know who's saying what. So we're trying to figure out a way to get a flip switch, or I'm not probably using the right terminology, but a better way of accessing that. So we're looking into that, and hopefully we'll get a nice report the next time we meet. That's all I have.
Due to a lack of agenda items, we did not have a Heritage Preservation Commission meeting. I was unable to attend the Park and Rec meeting, but as most of you saw in the paper, the Park Department did approve a new concept for the Vets Memorial at German Park. Right now, that's at the Cemetery and Monuments Commission. Sometime in July, we'll be seeing that come. One other item, you all saw the discussion on memberships and fee hikes. We'll also be seeing those in August, September, October, so that's coming. And one last thing will be the donations further down the agenda. That's it.
I've got nothing.
Just a little update from the Transportation Advisory Committee. The Herman Express has some great ridership this fine year. Just under 2,400 riders have ridden since January, so that's looking actually pretty good. The new bus is well received. The electric buses are still very much so on a back burner, but hopefully someday we see them.
Do we have any timetable on that at all?
Not at all. At this point, it sure doesn't feel that way, but we're getting our plans made and whatnot. They're starting to look at possible different storage locations for it through the town, so things are going good, though.
Yeah, I would say probably the earliest, maybe 26. That's
Right.
just-
Really?
That's what it felt like.
We were hoping 25, but the electric buses have kind of taken a weird back seat with Ford dropping their line of EV, the Lightning. So that's kind of where the chassis was. So it's setting everything back. And then again, I think overall budget numbers for Herman, again, we were roughly about $5,000, which to me, nominal expense for something that is serving the public, and we'll continue to move forward with that in our budget.
The Human Rights Commission met, and we have a group of very active members. They're going to be participating in the Bavarian Blast Parade, New Ulm Night Out, and also the Brown County Fair and other activities. So very active this time of the year. So I applaud them for their volunteerism and getting the word out there.
EDA meeting, not a lot of new things to report. We just continue to work on what we're working on. And then we did receive a report from Newburgh as well. And then we did have a work session as well with a company that we're looking to partner with to bring us some opportunities for community engagement and downtown enhancements, we'll say. Say that? Yeah. All right. That's all I have. All right, thank you. Item number 4.1, annual financial report for the fiscal year ended December 31st, 2023.
Councilors Abdo presented at a meeting just prior to this, the results of the year. Overall, we had a good year. We had fund balance increases, even though the unassigned fund balance for the city did go down, but that's due to funds that we have dedicated for George's this year. We did have one finding, but staff has already addressed that and changed the processes in order to avoid that in the future. And it's not a major finding that should affect anything with our bond rating or anything going forward, so. That's about all I have to report on that.
Overall, the city and PUC were in excellent financial shape. I'm going to motion to receive the annual financial report for the fiscal year ended December 31st, 2023 for the city of New Ulm and New Ulm Public Utilities.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Under new business, item number 5.1 is Hughes License Agreement. Mr. Stadheim.
All right, thank you, Madam President, City Councilors. Before you tonight is a request for a license agreement adjacent to 1 Indian Point Drive. The property owner is Dwight Hughes, and they are requesting to use a portion of the unopened, undeveloped South Highland Avenue right-of-way for construction of a fence around a garden area that they have on their property, and just for aesthetic purposes to clean it up and whatnot. So the garden is there, and they've had issues with deer, rabbits, and things of that nature. So they're requesting just to use a 4-foot portion of that unused right-of-way for a fence, and the license agreement is included for your review with a exhibit at the end of that license agreement showing just that rough area of where that would be located. It wouldn't be over the entire property line, just in the area where his garden area is at. Be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Stadheim.
I've got no questions, and I'm assuming we've done similar things like this in the past.
Yeah, Madam President, City Councilor, so the City Council, rather, has approved license agreements similar in nature, and one would be Black Frost Distilling and Oak Hills. And we've also approved some for the unused Oak Street right-of-way up on top of the hill. There's one residence up there has a garden shed and whatnot up there. So there's past examples of these types of license agreements.
Sure. So I'm going to offer the motion to approve the license agreement between the City of New Ulm and Dwight and Denise Hughes for the use of a 4-foot area of South Highland Avenue right-of-way adjacent to Lot 10 of Lampright Subdivision 1 Indian Point Drive.
We do have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion does carry. Item number 5.2 is to set a public hearing date for the noise variance for New Ulm Chamber of Commerce Crazy Days.
I'll offer a motion to schedule a public hearing for Tuesday, July 2nd, 2024, 4:30 PM for request from New Ulm Chamber of Commerce for a noise variance permit amplified sound and music during Crazy Days on Minnesota Street between First North and Center Streets for the following: Friday, July 26th, 2024 from 5 PM to 11 PM, and Saturday, July 27, 2024 from noon to 12 AM midnight.
Okay, I got a question on that one.
Got to second that first.
Um,
Second it. then I'll get it.
Second.
Okay.
Now I got a
Thank you.
question. At our last meeting, we had that, we were kind of setting our precedents
yeah.
about 11 PM.
The chamber-
Counselors, your thoughts, or?
Chamber doesn't have any issue moving that to 11. What they were looking at was, I think it was Oktoberfest. They were able to do it till midnight, so they put it out there. But talking with Sarah, she was fine if you wanted to go to 11. Okay, moving that to 11, just as we had talked about at the previous one, keeping it. Because when we look at midnight, it's not to midnight. It's probably to about 12:30 or 1 once you tear down and have all that noise
Yep,
there. So I think that's fine. And just general FYI, we'll probably have a work study session on this exact topic probably in August.
I can amend my motion to 11 PM.
Second.
Okay, we do have a motion and a second with the amendment to 11 PM for Saturday, July 27th. Any additional discussion? Those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5.3, 2025 Minnesota DNR Volunteer Fire Assistance Grant. Chief, hello.
President Betker and councilors, this is annual grant that the Minnesota DNR offers for, basically for outfitting and volunteer fire departments for wildland firefighting. We've applied for grants from them before and received some grants from them. So we're applying for a skid for a UTV. When we get to the next item on the agenda, it'll explain it a little bit more. But yeah, it's a matching grant, and we're applying for, I believe it's just under $3,000, so.
Go ahead and make a motion to authorize the fire department to apply for the 2025 Minnesota Department of Natural Resources Volunteer Fire Assistance grant for $2,962.50 toward the purchase of a QTAC 85 EMC-C fire rescue skid. Isn't that the VIN number?
A motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion does carry. All right, while you're up there, item number 5.4, Fire Department donation. Once again, Chief, floor is yours.
President Betker and councilors, a few months back, I got a call from Bev Lunenburg, and she was wondering if there was anything that the fire department could really use. And we made a list, and it was a wide-ranging list. And I sent that list, or I sat down with Bev and we went through the list, and she took that home with her, and we met a couple of more times, and she decided that this skid would be the most useful for not skid, but this UTV would be the most useful to the fire department. And we agreed that would be what she wanted to donate, and it's a very generous donation of over $47,000. I think this is a very good project, and I would like to thank Bev for her generosity to the fire department. So, I don't know, I'd like maybe Bev to say a couple of words.
I'm Bev Lunenburg, and I just want to say that I'm proud to do this for the city of New Ulm. The fire department has done much for us when we had the scrapyard and had cardboard, and this is just my way of repaying New Ulm. New Ulm's a great town, and I love it. Thank you.
Thank you, Bev. That's just a wonderful, generous gift, and to think of our city, and so thank you so much for helping to improve our services at the fire department and make New Ulm just a little bit safer.
So I'm going to happily offer the resolution to accept a donation to the New Ulm Fire Department in the amount of $43,707.50 from Bev Lunenburg for the purchase of a 2025 Polaris Ranger Crew XP to be used for wildland firefighting and rescue services.
I'll second.
We do have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Just want to say thanks again. It's great that you're doing this, and we're glad that we have one more thing off your wish list, right? Okay, Director Jorgensen, please call the roll.
Counselor Mack?
Yes.
Counselor Christian?
Yes.
Counselor Schultz?
Yes.
Counselor Warmka?
Yes.
President Becker?
Yes, that motion carries. Thank you. Last item of business today, item number 5.5, Park and Rec donations.
And Counselor Schultz told me that he would gladly read through these because my voice is bad.
It's Joey's job.
Oh, you're going to make Joey come up?
That's been his job since he's.
Yeah.
A poor guy.
Good evening, Mr. Shugal.
Counselor Betker, City Council. I am here asking for acceptance of the following donations. The first one's for Pickleball General from Janet Carey in the amount of $250, Lowell Zellman in the amount of $250. The next are for the Gary Wilczek Memorial Bench, Ann Wilczek and family, $200, Dan Meyer, $100, Everett and Phyllis DeKramer, $100, Floyd Holm, $100, Flying Dutchman, $800, Gail O'Connor, $100, Greg and Vicky Peterson, $100, Jerry Knockreiner, $200, Larry Larry Kilmer, $100. Ramona Widmer, $100. Roy and Helen Yanni, $100. Tom and Susan Hoban, $200. And William and Mary Waldschmidt for $50. We have flowers at German Park and planters up by the amphitheater from Herbie the Hedgehog in the amount of $153.90. And then we have a donation from the New Ulm Baseball Association in the amount of $3,000 for both Johnson and Miller ballparks. Additionally, we have Rec on the Go support from New Ulm Public Schools in the amount of $6,400. And more pickleball general donations from Laura Schatzko, $500. Betty Kamols, $150. Linda Marty, $300. Elwood Helt, $250. And Susan Vogel for $200. That total comes up to $13,703.90.
Were the pickleball people looking for something specific, or?
So our pickleball players, users aren't a formal association, and currently no one really wants to head that up and do that groundwork to do that. However, they want to be involved in enhancing the game in the community. So they approached me and said, how can we be part of a solution for enhancing pickleball in the community? And this is the start.
Great. Okay, thank you.
Go ahead and offer the resolution and accept the donations offered to the City of New Ulm through the Park and Rec Department as outlined by Mr. Schugel for the total of $13,703.90.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Director Jorgensen, please call the roll.
Counselor Mack?
Yes.
Counselor Christian?
Yes.
Counselor Schultz?
Yes.
Counselor Warmka?
Yes.
President Becker?
Yes, that motion carries. With no additional business, this meeting, oh, yes, do we want to?
Could we bring that up to the city attorney or
I
not?
I'll just email them tomorrow and get that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be fine.
All right, with no additional business today, this meeting is adjourned.